All right, today we're going to do something fun. We are breaking down the U12 Harbor Blacks' absolutely dominant 2025 basketball season. You might ask, how in the world did they do it? Well, the official stats tell the whole story, and we are diving deep into those numbers right now. So let's start with a big one, 1,027. What is that? Well, that is the total number of points this team scored all season long. It's a staggering figure that tells you one thing right off the bat. This team was an offensive powerhouse. So here's our game plan for how we're going to break this all down. We're going to start with their sheer dominance. Then we'll meet the top scorers. After that, we'll uncover the team's secret weapons, decode their winning formula, and then wrap it all up with the key takeaways. Sound good? Let's go. First up, a season of, and I'm not exaggerating here, sheer dominance. Let's dig into the numbers behind this incredibly powerful performance. Okay, this is where you really see the full picture. I mean, averaging over 64 points a game is impressive on its own, for sure. But, championship teams win on defense. And boy, did they deliver, holding their opponents to just 36 points. That's not just a gap, my friends. That's a chasm. And when you have that kind of excellence on both ends of the floor, you get this, an average margin of victory of over 28 points. Just think about that for a second. They weren't just winning games, they were completely controlling them, right from the tip-off to the final buzzer. And to put that dominance into perspective, just look at their offensive explosions. Scoring over 70 points is a great night for any team at any level. They did it 5 times in just 16 games. Oh, and that includes a mind-blowing 99-36 victory where they almost hit the century mark. Wow. So who was fueling this incredible offensive machine? Let's meet the top scorers, the real engine room of this team's offense. A quick look at the stats reveals a clear and consistent offensive core. You've got Cameron Goldfinch leading the charge with over 13 points a game, and Milo Hoare right there with them, also in double digits. And backing them up, Lean Rundle and Garrett Jones were both consistently knocking on the door of 10 points per game. This quartet right here was the reliable heartbeat of the offense. And right at the top of that list was Cameron Goldfinch. 187. That was his total point tally for the season. A truly remarkable individual performance that really set the pace for the entire team. But his impact went way beyond just putting the ball in the hoop. He also drew 39 fouls, the most on the team. And that number tells a story, doesn't it? It's the story of an aggressive player who just never stopped attacking the basket, putting constant, relentless pressure on the defense. Okay, now let's shift focus to a different but just as important scoring threat. 23. That's how many free throws LaVon Rundle made, leading the team from what they call the charity strike. Getting to the line and converting is such a massive skill. Lafrene's ability to do this consistently made him a super steady threat, especially in those tighter moments. Those are the kinds of points that can help you grind out a tough win when the outside shots just aren't falling. But this team's story isn't just about a few star players. Not at all. Let's talk about the team's secret weapons, because as they always say, depth and diversity, that's what wins championships. And here it is. This is the stat that, for me, proves just how deep this team really was. The top 3 scorers, Cameron, Milo, and Levine, were absolutely phenomenal, combining for 494 points. But the rest of the team? They scored 533. That's right, more than the top 3 combined. That, my friends, is what championship-level depth looks like. And this depth came from specialists who just stepped up in these vital roles. You had dedicated 3-point threats in Oliver Whitmore and Corbin Wilson. You had Lucas Lee Jones coming in as a high-impact scorer, averaging over 8 points a game. And you had an inside force like Gabe Moktoto, who used his presence down low to draw 24 fouls. See? Every single player had a role. So we know what they did, and we know who did it. Now it's time to figure out the how. Let's decode their winning formula. This chart right here, it basically reveals their entire offensive philosophy. Just look at where the points came from. A massive 82% from 2-pointers. The rest was just a mix of threes and free throws. The picture here could not be clearer. Their identity was unmistakable. Their success was built on one core principle, an aggressive offense that relentlessly, and I mean relentlessly, attacked the basket. And the evidence to back this up is all over the stats sheet. Over 80% of their points came from inside the arc. Their top players, like we saw with Cameron and Gabe, consistently drew a high number of fouls by attacking. And with so many different players contributing, defenses simply couldn't focus on stopping just one person. It was a balanced, aggressive, and frankly, overwhelming attack.
All right, let's bring it all home. It's time for our key season takeaways. The final buzzer on what was truly an incredible year.
So this team's championship formula really boils down to 4 key elements. First, you've got dominant firepower. Averaging over 64 points a game is no joke. Second, star leadership from a core of elite scorers. Third, that incredible depth with everyone on the roster contributing. And finally, a clear and aggressive identity built on relentlessly attacking the rim.
If you had to sum it all up in just one sentence, I think this is it. A team that proves success is built on star power, supported by incredible depth, and driven by a clear identity.
And all of that leaves us with one final, exciting question to think about. With this incredible foundation of talent, teamwork, and strategy already in place, just how far can this team go next season? Food for thought.